Hello, I'm Mark Scott. I'm the Business Data Librarian here at Lehigh. I'm going to take the next few minutes to talk to you about some library resources that you can use for your Marketing 111 Principles of Marketing course for your brand extension presentations. A couple key takeaways from this session. If you should need to reach me throughout the course of the semester with regard to the resources that I'll talk about, or you need help finding information, please feel free to email me at mas815@lehigh.edu. I'm here to help you. I want to make sure you're successful with using information as well as presenting your presentations for your course. A few deliverables for this particular session. We'll be looking to find company information from trusted sources. We'll also talk about using resources responsibly, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. I have created a library guide for this particular course. I'll make sure to send it to the professor to make sure that it's listed in your course site. And then I've got some specific resources that you can use as well. Some specific library links. I always like to put the LTS, or Library and Technology Services website, in my presentations. I'll be sharing these slides. This way, if you have any kind of technology help, you can always go to the LTS site. I also have the Lehigh University Libraries website. That's what I'll be working off of today. And then I've got the library guide for this particular course. A couple different ways to get here. Let me show you that. So if we go to the library's website, library.lehigh.edu, and if I go to How To, and I scroll down to MKT 111, I can go ahead and click that. And this will take me to the page. Go ahead and hit go. The other way to get there is to just click on this link, which will take us there as well. So a couple different ways to get there. I want to make sure you folks are aware of that from the library's website as well as directly from the link. So again, my contact information, if you want to reach out to me via email, or if you'd like to schedule a Zoom session, I'm happy to work with you to make sure you're finding the information you need. So let's run through some of the resources that we have. And remember, you're doing a presentation on brand extension. Now, one of the things that companies I always like to look at is the Clorox company. And one of the brand extensions that I typically use as examples is, we all know Clorox for cleaning products, and they've branched out into a few other things, pet food as well as healthcare products. But given Clorox and their interest in keeping products clean, I'm thinking about starting a Clorox brand of clothing, self-cleaning clothing. This way, you don't have to use their products to wash the clothes clean themselves. Is this possible? I don't know, but it usually makes for a good example for this particular course. So let's talk about finding information on the Clorox company. Now, one of the first places I like to start when it comes to researching a company is the investor information. Every company has an investor's relation page. So if we go to just straight Google search, Clorox company, investor relations. This takes you away from the general Clorox site, which is talking about the marketing behind their products, and we're more interested in the company itself, their financials. You can really get a good understanding of the company by looking at this information, their strategies, their annual reports, the team that's making it, the executive team, the board of directors, any kind of press release that's come out, and you do have access to their stock information. Their SEC filings, often reading the annual report can give you a good idea where the company is going. A few years ago, the Clorox company purchased Burt's Bees, so you can get that information out of the annual report. So again, it's a good snapshot of where the company is going. So don't overlook the investor relations page. Every publicly traded company has one. You can also get into their corporate responsibility, kind of, again, get another snapshot of the company as well as their brands and who they are. So don't overlook the investor relations page. The other thing we want to look at, if we go back, we're going to talk about company dossier. Somewhat similar to the investor relations, but let's go to Statista. Now, these are library resources. So if you are off campus, you may be asked to log in with your username and password. I'm currently on campus, so everything's working smoothly. So we go ahead and type in the Clorox company. I'll go ahead and hit search Statista. And the first link that comes up, or the first result, is the Clorox company. And this is the company dossier that Statista has put together. So if we scroll down here, we kind of get a snapshot. We've got their table of contents. This is a good resource to use if you want to provide any kind of data or visualization for your presentation. If I click on the PDF, I'm going to get a 68-page document on the Clorox company. And again, this is highly trusted information. Statista is a well-known resource that provides information on all sorts of things. And again, we're looking at the Clorox company, household care brands, the competitors, and some information. So this is what I'm talking about if you wanted to provide an image for your presentation. If you do provide this kind of image, make sure in your presentation that you cite the source. This way folks know where you got the information from. So this is Statista. If we go back to our guide, there's a couple other resources here. S&P Net Advantage provides some additional financials if you're interested in ratios or things of that nature. One of the things I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to tell you about, is news articles on your company. So many folks may be aware that Lehigh University offers campus-wide access to both the Wall Street Journal as well as the New York Times. Chances are you're going to find information on the Clorox company within the Wall Street Journal. Maybe the business pages of the New York Times has provided something, but these are good sources to take a look at to kind of find what the press is talking about your particular companies. A few other resources that you can search, Business Source Premier as well as ABI Inform are fantastic business resources. So if you're looking for scholarly information, I don't know for this particular presentation on brand extension if you'd necessarily be needing to search for scholarly information, but something like Business Source, these are basically competitors, so they're doing the same thing. So if I were to type in the Clorox company, and maybe I just enter clothing. Again, this isn't the best search, but I want to show you some of the features of the database itself. Off here in the left-hand column, and again, given this weak search, adding clothing to the Clorox company didn't necessarily improve my results. Let's go ahead and remove clothing. We'll hit search again. Hopefully we get a few more results. Yeah, close to 800. So source type. When you're using something like Business Source or ABI Inform, you have access to the trade publications, magazines, newspapers. Here's some market research reports. If I click show more, here are your academic journals. So you can not only use this for this particular presentation, but maybe some of your other research that you're doing. Don't overlook Business Source Premier and ABI Inform. Fantastic resources that are providing a wealth of information from, again, trade publications, magazines, newspapers, market reports, as well as scholarly information. And we'll come back to this in a few minutes. Coming back to our guide, let's take a look at SWOT analysis. Now, in reviewing your marketing plan, the phase one of your presentation, just scanning at it quickly, I can see that SWOT analysis is heavily mentioned in what is asked of you for this presentation. So if we come over here to SWOT analysis, MarketLine and both Business Source Premier do a fantastic job of providing SWOT analysis. I'm going to come back to my search results, and you can see that the Clorox company is mentioned here with their SWOT analysis, and I didn't even type SWOT into the presentation. Often what happens, we're going to go out to the open web again because I want to show you this. So Clorox company, students will come to me or they'll send me an email. I need to find SWOT analysis on a company, but the information that I'm finding is asking me to pay. One of the things I stress to students as a librarian, business librarian for the College of Business, is you should never pay for information, especially while you're here at Lehigh, because we have access to this information through other means such as Business Source and MarketLine. Now you can see somebody has put this information out. I'm not quite sure who Fort University is. They're out of Michigan. If I scroll down, so I am getting SWOT information. I don't know where they're getting it from. They do have some references here, 1980, 1962, 1975, 1970. This is dated information. The other thing that I think it's important for folks to do when you're doing a search on the open web, what I often do is look for a year or a date when this was presented. Sure, you can use this. I wouldn't use it because if you just look at this site, there's a lot of ads here. So again, I don't know where this is coming from. What I would recommend you do, and if we go back and we can see that there are others out there. Here's some other SWOT information, as well as pestle information on the company. This is taking a second to load. Okay, so this is from February 2018, relatively new. It's giving me access to this. If you're not familiar with what pestle is, political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental. All right, that's good stuff. But again, you can buy this now for $10.53. Sure, that's not a whole lot of money, but you could save that $10.53 if you use the library resources. So my point here, talking about using information responsibly, there's no reason to pay for this. I've already shown you that Business Source provides a SWOT analysis. And look, this is from January 6th of 2020. So I could click on the PDF here. What this is going to do is actually going to take me to MarketLine. So you can see anything that's ever in blue, this is MarketLine, and you're actually getting access to your SWOT information. Now this is really good information. I think one of the things that you'll want to do when you're looking at your company and you start doing research, whether you're reading about information in the news or you're doing trade publications and you're reading about your company, you're going to start to be able to form your own SWOT analysis of the company, something you might want to put into your SWOT analysis, put in your own thoughts, as well as this information here. Because this makes it very simple to do this SWOT research. So as you start reading, start thinking about what it is you're seeing, because you may be able to come up with your own information. The other reason I really like Business Source is you can actually kind of do a historical SWOT analysis on your company. You can actually see, so here's something from 2018, here's 2017. So you can go back 5, 6, 7 years and actually look at your company and see how it's grown, if the strengths are the same, if the weaknesses have changed, if the threats have changed. I guarantee you're going to find some differences in all of these over the course of time. So this is Business Source Premier. Again, as I've mentioned, great for any kind of information related to trade, magazine news, as well as your SWOT analysis. The other thing is that MarketLine does the same thing. The difference between these two is that MarketLine only provides, I believe, I could be wrong on this, I believe they only provide the most recent information on your company. So you're getting industry, here's company information. Yeah, so you're actually getting this kind of report. So here's your research reports, recent deals, here's your SWOT analysis. Again, you're going to get another snapshot of the company through MarketLine, information that their analysts pull up. So another really good resource to use. Finally, so we've talked about, just to review, investor information through just doing a general Google search for investor relations related to your company. We saw a company dossier from Statista. We did SWOT analysis with both Business Source as well as MarketLine. Let's switch gears and take a look at industry information. This database that I'm showing you here, IBISWorld, is one of a heavily used resource here at Lehigh for the Business College. It does a fantastic job of providing a really good report on the industry, and you can search it a couple different ways. If I was interested in, say, investment banking, I could type investment banking into the search box. I can also type my company, which is what I'm going to do here. Now, again, I think for your projects regarding your brand extension, you're probably going to want to use ABI Business Source to find information to see if it's out there on your extension. So maybe I want to go to Google Scholar and see self-cleaning clothing and see what kind of research has been done on that. I know I digress for a minute, but you're probably going to need to do some sort of searching on that extension depending on what it is. IBISWorld. So I can very easily just type in the Clorox company. Clorox. So here's bleach, disinfectants. We could also do something like laundry, industrial laundry, laundromats in the US. We could do cleaning products, compounds. Or maybe I want to look at, say, clothing. Women's clothing, men's clothing. So if you're to go to family clothing stores, and say you want to, Target is sold in Walmart. Clorox is sold in stores like Walmart, Sam's, Target, Costco. So maybe you want to introduce your line of clothing in those kind of stores. So family clothing stores. So again, it's taking those two ideas and bringing them together, the product itself and the company itself. But again, I think IBISWorld is a great resource to kind of get an idea of the industry that you want to target. Again, it's important that you cite your sources when you're doing your presentations, whether it's at the end of the presentation. I often stress this when I meet with classes. When you do leave Lehigh and you're working for a company and you're asked to do a presentation and you're standing up in front of a group of people and you go through it, remember, somebody might ask you, that's an interesting chart. Where did you get it? You're going to want to be able to say, I got it from such and such a source. So it helps you to look like you're prepared, because you will be prepared after having done all this research. So make sure you provide a list of the sources you've used for your presentations. So again, we've got the library guide. We've talked about investor relations, company dossier, company financial information from S&P, which will be very similar to what you might find in investor relations. We've talked about SWOT analysis information, market line, and business source. And as you can see, I did not provide industry information here on my slide, but we did talk about IBISWorld, which is a great resource for that. Again, if you should have any questions regarding any of this information, or if you should need help, please feel free to reach out. Email me at mas815@lehigh.edu. We can do a Zoom meeting. I'm always answering emails from faculty and students when they're looking for information. So I hope you'll take advantage of my time and services. I wish you the best of success with your presentations. Thank you, and have a great day.